G'day again, Adam from ABC and Better Boating. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to put the boat back on the trailer. And this is how we do it with our aluminium boats with skid trailers. So what we do first is make sure the trailer is at the right depth for the water at the boat ramp. Now different angles of boat ramp and different trailers are going to have different depths at which you should sink the trailer. For ours, we know that we want about an arm length, a forearm length of the last skid on the trailer sticking out of the water. You should be able to see at that very back skid, you can see that we've got a little bit more than a forearm length in there. I probably need to put the trailer in a wee bit deeper. Now we can see with the trailer at the right depth, I've got about a forearm length of those last longitudinal skids that go forward and backwards on the trailer. I've got them about a forearm length out of the water. We've got the right amount. We can still just step onto the back of the car here and hopefully not get our feet wet. On a winter's day, you know, it's not a good thing. Summer, not so bad. The only other thing I've got to do is to arm my boat catch. So on this trailer, this big set of jaws here, you can see the pin in there. If I push this handle, you'll see the jaws open, the pin comes back. And now I'm going to drive the big D-shaped thing on the front of the boat into that set of jaws and it'll ping and lock and we'll know we've got the boat on the trailer safely. All right, so back down to the boat. Engine's already running. We don't need to worry about turning it back on and going through our pre-start checks or anything like that. No wind and no current to speak of, as we've got at the moment. We can either get on and throw the lines from the boat. We can pretty much just untie the lines, throw them back into the boat, and away we go. Different boats with different powertrains and configurations will all have different ways that they maneuver alongside wharves and getting away from them and what have you. So I'm going to turn and face the back of the boat here, watching where we're going. I'm going to back the boat out a good distance so I can line myself up with the trailer nice and straight. What I want to do is I'm going to try and line the anchor and the center of the boat up with the center of the trailer and those rollers that run down the center of the trailer. So I'm going to use small movements of the wheel, just adjusting it to get it up in the middle of the trailer here. Don't want to go too fast, but just idling. If I'm going too fast, I can even pop the boat back to neutral and wash off some speed. Now, not a lot of wind or current pushing me sideways one way or the other. Sometimes you've got to take that into account when you're coming in onto the trailer. So pretty much now, back to neutral, a little bit of trim up just to be safe. Get the bow on. The bow's going to hit the first roller. There we go. So I can feel the boat's on. I'm standing in the middle of the boat. I can line up the anchor with the winch post. I know the boat's nice and straight. The bow's come up, which means the stern's sunk down. May want to trim up a little bit of engine just to keep the propeller away from the boat ramp, just in case. I'll pop it into forwards gear. I'll gently squeeze on a little bit of power, which will just settle the boat down, swinging left and right a little bit. So I just want to get it settled pointing straight before I put too much power on. To find that center, I line up the anchor with the winch post. Have a look at the engine. It's pretty much straight, a little bit round to the left before we go too fast, but a little bit more power is going to bring it on. And this trailer is really well set up. It's a really good design of trailer. It's going to get the boat going straight up the rollers in the center. It's like a ladder of rollers. It's nice and easy. So the boat's centered. Now the helm is in the middle. All I need to do is just increase the power to get the boat going up the trailer slowly. So a little bit more power. There's our catch. We can feel it fall back into the catch. We know it's good. We can turn the engine off. Trim the engine up so that it doesn't scratch on the way out. It's always important. You don't want to be that guy at the boat ramp, as they say. Again, with this boat catch, it's a pretty solid piece of work. I can probably drive the car up the boat ramp a little bit before I put the safety chain on, and I'd be pretty comfortable that it's not going to slide off into the sea. If you don't have one of those, you're not so comfortable, now's the time to make sure you got your winch strap on and you've got your safety chain on the bow. Then we pull it up out of the water and then we tie the boat down, prepare it all to trailer on the road, and away we go. Get my winch strap on, winch him up a bit, pop the safety on and I'm good. So we've got our shackle on the bow, we've got our safety chain here, and we've got our winch strap. Winch strap attached, safety chain attached, winch handle goes on. Snug it in nice and tight, just to the point where we know the boat's not going to rattle when we go, and we're good. That's our video about how to retrieve your boat back onto the trailer. If you've got any questions, betterboating.com.au or 1300 262 888. Thanks for watching.